Google, when they're putting up new tools, they're always enabling you to learn those tools for free. Usually they give a couple of free courses, maybe like a certificate. If those new things come out, I generally recommend just doing those first and just getting acquainted with going through data and seeing how it works. I mean, when I first started working with raw data, I was like, okay, what is all this? I'm pretty overwhelmed by it. But once you really dig into it and use some resources and read about it, you can see how powerful it is. So definitely just use the free resources that are available and just try it out, because that's the only way you're going to learn how to work with raw data, for example.
Okay. Yeah. And I know you create amazing free resources. Are there other resources that you'd recommend that the audience check out?
I already said the resources by Google specifically. I can't think of. Well, there's one tag manager expert I really enjoy looking at, and he also talks about BigQuery, Simo Ahava. I'm definitely a big fan of him, but there's so many great resources. I can't come up with one specifically right now, but that's definitely one. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And Glenn, I feel personally like I'm on this treadmill, and I posted a comment on LinkedIn the other day of a person on a treadmill falling off the treadmill and crashing into weights and that's how I feel right now. There is so much to keep up with, and you really have to become specialized in one area. I don't think anyone at this point can do it all. You have to say, okay, I'm going to go head first into GA4 or GA4 and BigQuery. How are you managing these changes, and what do you recommend to the audience?
Yeah, not gonna lie, we need to dispel that myth of the person with their arms folded back behind their head after they put in their credit card to buy something. Or this is an era where the mettle of people who are involved in online commerce is going to be tested, and it's going to require a sober inventory of your skills. And yet the possibilities with gaining these new skills is greater than ever. So, to pick up maybe one or two things that have already been mentioned, Tag Manager was mentioned, and though it is technical and it's beyond my technical abilities, server-side implementation of Google Tag Manager allows you all sorts of different controls over what a segment of your audience could see, over what dimensions are being passed to downstream systems. So, you put the risk of learning that system, but it does come back with a reward. And then the other one I'd mention is if we have, let's say, test data sitting inside of BigQuery, how that might be worked out for people who are ready to step into learning some Python or some R, or getting familiar with the libraries that apply data science to systems. I mean, a little fun one that can get you started is Google Colab. These will allow you to do the types of statistical analysis that maybe is better for your situation than some off-the-shelf Bayesian model. I'm not saying that systems with pre-wired models aren't good. They're amazing at providing you with how a majority of test data can be represented to a majority of companies. But if your organization doesn't look like that, then you need to maybe take that grown-up step of finding out who can do the analysis that is going to fit your particular needs.